Hey everyone, this is your lawyer, Andre Raikhelson. Check this out. By this point, you probably already heard that the SEC has approved of a Bitcoin ETP, an exchange-traded product, kind of like an ETF. It's the same thing. They call it an ETP in their official letterhead. And they have rejected more than 20 of these. So why did they reject 20 of these before? And now they've got a new one that they approved. It all started from a court case where you had the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust in an ETP, and it was rejected by the SEC. And the SEC rejects it for a whole bunch of reasons. They never gave a real good reason why they rejected it, but Grayscale said, no. We're going to sue the SEC. So they sued the SEC, they lost in the lower court, they took it to the appellate court, and they won in the appellate court. So they won in the appellate court, and then the appellate court said to the SEC, you got to redo this. If you're going to reject it, you got to give a viable reason. If you want, I can put a link to the opinion of the appellate court. If you want, you can read it. We can talk about it. But here's what happened. The SEC took it to the next step. They got the case back. They lost on the appeal. So what did they do? They said, okay, you know what? We're going to find a more sustainable path. That's what the director, the chair of the SEC said. We're going to find a more sustainable path and approve the spot Bitcoin ETP. So their more sustainable path is to approve it because they don't have a reason to deny it. But you have to understand that they're classifying Bitcoin as a security. So they're classifying Bitcoin as a security. And interesting to note that the SEC, although approved of it, is calling Bitcoin, I'm going to quote this, speculative, volatile asset that is used for illicit activity, including ransomware, money laundering, sanction evasion, and terrorist financing. That is in their official letterhead. Guys, you know what else is used that's very difficult to trace and that is used for ransomware, money laundering, sanctions evasion, and terrorist financing? You want to know what currency? The US dollar. The US dollar is not, it's not central, but it's used to evade sanctions. It's very difficult to trace. It's used in money laundering. It's used in a lot of other these organizations. And I'll tell you even more thing. A lot of people, when the sanctions hit in Russia, a lot of people went to the Russian banks and tried to get US dollars because US dollars are easier to transact with. So you have all of these theories where Bitcoin is not a good store of value, shouldn't be used because it's speculative, and is used to fund terrorist organizations. The only thing that the US dollar has is it's not speculative. And I'm going to go back to that in a bit. So is Bitcoin a good investment now that you have a SEC verified Bitcoin exchange traded product? I don't think it is. I'll tell you why I don't think it is. You have people like Cathie Woods. Here's what she said.
You know, we tend to be 5 years in our predictions. So the 5 to 7 year forecast is in base case would be 650,000, and then bull case would be about double that.
So she thinks that Bitcoin will cost $1.5 million a single Bitcoin by 2023. And maybe she's right, maybe she's wrong. I don't think she's right for the right reasons, because I think the reason why she's right is because if Bitcoin is part of an exchange traded product, right, then it could be picked up by sovereign funds. And if sovereign funds, and by the way, what's a sovereign fund? It's when other governments start investing in different products, in different financial products, and different financial institutions. So when you have different government entities start trading and start investing in different kind of financial products, then the price can go up because it carries with it some kind of weight. It carries with it some kind of value. So if sovereign funds start picking up Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETFs, not just something in Argentina, but real sovereign funds in major countries, major players, then I really could see it going to $1.5 million per Bitcoin. That makes sense. But then the question really is it worth it for you to invest in? And maybe it is. For me, it isn't. I'll tell you why. Because Kevin O'Leary said it 4 years ago. He said it properly 4 years ago. Here's what he said.
They want to guarantee that the value comes back to U.S. currency at 10. You have to somehow hedge the risk of Bitcoin. That means it's not a real currency. That means the receiver is not willing to take the risk of the volatility it has. It's worthless. I believe that.
So essentially, he's saying that Bitcoin is based on price fluctuations with so much that it's hard to guarantee its value as a store of value. So you've got a situation where the price changes on a day-to-day basis in such a way that you can't rely on it and you can't guarantee it. So if I wanted 5 Bitcoin for a product today, it might cost 4.75 tomorrow. It can cost 6 tomorrow. It can cost something different. So it's not a very good store of value. And you're going to see that these price fluctuations stabilize as time goes on. So you have a philosophy, a principle in economics that as time goes on, a new product will become less fluctual, less volatile, and more stable. It happened with the US dollar when it first came out. And when the United States dollar turned into the world reserve note, it started to stabilize and it became very stable. And even now, with inflation going up and down, it's very stable. So if you're interested in more, if you want to know more about the grayscale appeal, stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'll comment on what you're gonna say to me. I'll respond to what you say to me. It's gonna be great. We can have a conversation. Let me know. Are you buying the spot Bitcoin exchange traded product? Are you listening to the words of the SEC? Do you think it's too speculative? Are you trading with it on a daily basis? Let me know. Let's talk about it.